Okay, so look, today what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the new 1270. It's at a really interesting stage. The hull and decks are about to be joined, but they're still separate at the moment. And I'm here with Danny. Danny is our Seawind 1270 project manager and also the development manager. Danny was in charge of the whole development and building the tooling to get to this stage. So we'll go for a bit of a walk around and talk about this new, really exciting boat. Obviously, the 1270 is a development from the incredibly successful 1260. We haven't thrown too much away of the 1260. We're trying to build on what has been a super successful boat. So what we've ended up with is a boat that is 0.4 of a meter longer, reverse bows, much bigger interior, much more powerful boat. It's in feet, it's a full 42-foot length. Danny, what do you think of the project so far?
Yeah, it's gone well. We've developed on the 1260. We've improved areas, given more buoyancy, improved the aesthetics and the sailing capabilities. And overall, it's a step up from the 1260.
We'll go through some of the features. If we walk underneath the boat at the moment, we have an increased water tank here, because what we've done, and you'll notice this is right in the center of the boat, which is where the water tank should be, to keep the weight right in the center of the boat. But we've increased the size of the underwing water tank, because by doing that we've been able to release some space in the interior for more storage space. One thing that's not immediately apparent is that the underwater shape is now very much different to the 1260. We have sort of more up in the bows. We have increased depth, which will give us more underwing clearance, but it's also a different shape that our very specialized underwater naval architect believes we will get improved performance in all aspects of the sail. Going forward, we can have a look at these from the outside, but the bows are very, very, very different. Firstly, we have reverse bows, which gives us a huge amount of excess buoyancy, huge amount of additional buoyancy from the 1260. We have flattened the decks, which we'll talk about later, which means that the forebeam is some 250 mils or almost 10 inches higher than on the previous 1260. This means that it'll be less susceptible to wave hitting and in big seas. Danny, the forebeam is made of carbon, which is a departure from our previous boat.
Yeah, so we've gone away from the aluminium beam and incorporated our carbon beam that was very successful on the 1160. This gives us a lot less complexity in the build, fewer parts, less maintenance, but also you end up with a part that's very stiff and strong, and it integrates the new longeron, which houses the anchor and spinnaker pole and all the forestay fittings.
The longeron allows us to have a pole that's for the screecher and for the spinnaker if necessary, which is not reliant on the whisker lines that we had on the 1260.
Correct, yeah, which is always something that our customers were complaining about, that the complexity of those. So now that's much more simplified.
Yeah, it also has a benefit from the anchoring. The whisker poles used to get tied up occasionally with the with the bridle wire, the bridle rope rather, that we use for anchoring to keep the boat steady. Those problems have disappeared now with this model.
Yeah, we've taken the bridle points and put them much further, much higher up, so those issues will no longer be apparent on this boat.
As a result of flattening out the deck, we've also given ourselves a huge amount more buoyancy in this area here. The lockers up there that we'll be able to use for anchor storage, just general storage, are now massive. Probably what would you say, probably a 50% increase from the previous boat?
Yeah, perhaps more.
Okay. This is one feature as well. Obviously, we have flattened out this area here, so that means that it's got a very smooth passageway for the waves to pass by, but it's also given us a huge amount of extra buoyancy inside the boat, and of course, it allows us to position our escape hatches in different locations, depending on whether we're going to be building a galley down, galley up boat. This is a new feature. This is a new feature that we first did on the new 1160 XL, and it's under normal sailing. It doesn't really come into play, but when you're going fast downwind and you're really pushing the boat, this gives a huge lift to the back of the boat, and the performance that we found on the new 1160, we believe that we're going to get the same performance increase with this new 1270. It's proved to be a very, very good feature. We just have a look at the new bows, new bow shape, reverse bows. I think they look great in practice, but also they have a very practical benefit as well. The amount of additional buoyancy that these bows are going to give the boat, this 1270, like the new 1160 XL, will be almost impossible to bury the bows. It'll be a fantastic boat in any sea conditions. Up in the saloon of the 1270, and as I say, the boat is just ready now. It's all completely, all the assembly of the internal furniture has been completed, and tomorrow we will be fitting the deck. But I think this is a great opportunity to show you some of the features that generally you won't be able to see when the boat is completed. Let's start at the back, and we'll go through some of the things that make this boat such a strong, offshore, powerful blue water cruising boat. And Danny, please feel free to tell me the things that you think that I'm missing and that you think are really important. But
one obvious thing is the carbon fiber in the hull. This is forming the back beam. Transfers into the aft bulkheads. All the structural beams on this boat are carbon fiber, as are the stiffeners, and you can see in the transverse beams. And all of those have been done to improve and optimize the laminates to get extra stiffness but weight reduction.
These extensions of this aft bulkhead here, what they do is they transfer the loads through to this aft coaming here, but also they tie up to the carbon reinforcement of the back beam itself.
Yeah, and those also they follow exactly the beams in the deck. So the deck beams follow inside here. They follow an angle and then come onto the back of the deck. So they actually form the top of the beam, the bottom of the beam. So you have an I beam, which gives enormous strength and stiffness.
Over here, we already have the liners in and this is the liner for the back bedroom. One thing you'll notice is that everywhere, the bulkheads, the furniture, absolutely everything in this boat is fully glassed into the hull. So there's no, we don't just glue things in. If we do glue them, we come back and we also in a belt and braces thing, we make sure that it's fully glassed in. It's what makes Seawinds, I believe, one of the strongest offshore performance boats.
Yeah, these outside beams and the inner beam here actually run on top of the beams you can see on the underside of the wing deck, and they give an extremely strong structure. You've got a beam underneath and a beam on top, both of which have carbon fibre unis, longitudinal unis on the web faces of those as well. So it all ties in and picks up the load and just makes an incredibly strong structure.
Okay. So moving forward, we're now in the saloon, and essentially this is the 3-cabin galley down version, and I think boat number 3 is going to be. This is boat number 1, of course. Boat number 3 is going to be a galley up version. So the configuration of this will be very different in the galley up version. But for those of you that are familiar with the 1260, there's not a lot of change up here from the very successful 1260, except that we're standing in a space here that is almost 7 inches longer. So we have quite a bit of extra space here. We also have we have increased the seating, the distance here, so it's a more comfortable seat. But the other thing that we've done, because we have stood the windows up quite a bit, it means that when people are sitting here, their head is not touching the window and is a long way away from the window.
Yeah, the viewers will see when the deck goes on, the window angles really do affect the overall space inside. The side windows have been tipped up more vertical, and the forward saloon windows have become more vertical, and it just gives a feeling of abundance of space.
While we're up here, we'll come and have a look at some of the features. We'll have a look at some of the features here as well. So if you can see here, again, it's how we build all our boats. Everything contributes to the stiffness and the strength of the boats. So you'll see this locker floor here is fully glassed into the bulkhead. It's fully glassed in here. Underneath here, you'll see that everything is fully glassed underneath the saloon seat. Where this side of the saloon seat, it's fully glassed into the underwing section of the hull. Coming up here, let's stand up on the seats, and again you'll see here the effects of what we've done by flattening out the decks. So on the 1260, the decks slope down. These decks are flat all the way through, and if we start in the starboard bedroom here, you'll see the head height in this starboard bedroom is absolutely massive. The head height in the starboard forward bathroom is absolutely massive. So we're in the starboard hull now, and carrying this boat to the previous 1260, what we did with the 1260 and this boat is we widen the hulls by 60 millimeters. Now 60 millimeters is approximately 2.5 inches. And it doesn't sound very much, but the effect of it is massive. On the porthole, we've used all that space to give extra width in the floorway. But here on the starboard side, we've used a lot of that extra width to widen our galley and give us the option of installing a bigger stove, bigger oven.
A lot of people now, they're wanting lithium upgrades, batteries, these induction stoves, and this gives us the option to just have more versatility there. Ovens are getting bigger, and this just gives us the opportunity to be able to use, those new things that everybody wants on their boats.
You can see here how everything is glassed into the boat. All the shelves in the galley. Now these are not structural shelves at all, but we've glassed them in so that there's absolutely no movement anywhere. The aft cabin here, because of the additional width, but we've also pushed this out a little bit, so we've probably got pretty close to 100 millimeters of additional width in this aft bedroom. It now makes very, very comfortable double bed. We got a massive head height now, running all the way forward, and this bathroom is now considerably bigger as well.
The room here used to dip down a lot on the 1260 as the bow came down. Now that we have that 250 mil, you can see it's a full height, standing over 6 feet for shower space, elbow space, and you can see that extra 2.5 inches, 60 millimeters here, just gives an overwhelming sense. And when the deck goes on and the deck sides are also more vertical, just the volume in here is like a different boat.
So here's a good opportunity just to have a look at some of the really important structural issues that we build in, or the features that we build into this boat. This is a carbon beam that runs all the way through, and this is a massive, great beam. Additional beam width, hull beam width of 60 millimeters or 2.5 inches has all been kept in the companionway, so there's a much greater feeling of space in this boat. That additional width has been transferred into the bathroom here, the aft bathroom, and it's just very comfortable living. We are now in the forward master cabin, the bedroom, and one of the big features, because of the flat decks, is the size of this bedroom now. People can now sit up comfortably in bed. We still have a very comfortable amount of space above their head. I mentioned earlier that we also have changed the underwater shape, and we have created more depth in the bilge, and we'll be able to have a look at that space that we have underneath the cabin sole. Aft we have the fuel tank, and Danny, remind me how big the fuel tank is. I think
this fuel tank now is 253 litres.
Each side. Yeah, so it's 253 litres each side, over 500 litres in total. We also have a grey water tank that's installed, which is not generally connected, but it can be used in many ways. And in between them, we have the very deep bilge area.
Okay, so we managed to increase the tank size from about 220 to 250.
All right.
So it's quite a lot. So I think to improve it on range.
Okay, so that's a preliminary look at the 1270 before the deck goes on. As I said, the deck is going to go on tomorrow, and if we just come back here, we can just have a look at what the deck looks like. What you can see there is that the top half of the front beam, fully carbon, fully locked into each hull, that will join up to the base of the carbon beam that's in the hull. You can see longer on forward, massive increase in the saloon size and the saloon deck. I think that we will be able to easily get 2 to 2.5 kilowatts of solar panel on that deck. But most of all, you can see the flat decks that walk all the way from the stern to the bow, making this boat a very, very easy boat to walk around, very ergonomic, just a beautiful boat to be on. So tomorrow they will put the deck on, and I'll look forward to giving you part 2 of this, and we can film the first number 1 1270 with hull and deck joined, and we can go through their features in more detail then. So thank you all.